Yikes. JP Morgan Chase stressed that we need a media infrastructure that is held accountable. The banks? The banks? Everybody stop posting your opinions. The banks are mad. There is also a formalized process for government officials to directly flag content on Facebook or Instagram and request that it be throttled or suppressed through a special Facebook portal that requires a government or law enforcement email to use. Okay. Let me get this straight. The feds are monitoring Facebook and Instagram? What the hell could possibly be going on Instagram? The feds are reading your simp replies. The feds have seen you call me mommy. The challenge is particularly acute in marginalized communities, which are often the targets of false or misleading information. Oh, you hear that, Black and brown people? You're particularly being monitored by the FBI. But don't worry, it's for your own good. You're just too stupid to come up with your own conclusions. You need the government to do it for you. You need the government and corporations to step in and control what and what you cannot say. Silly minority. The counter-disinformation effort began in 2018, following a high-profile hacking incident of US firms, when Congress passed and President Donald Trump signed the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency Act. They argued that the agency needed to take steps to halt the spread of false and misleading information, with a focus on information that undermines key democratic institutions, such as the courts, or by other sectors such as the financial system or public health measures. In 2019, DHS created a separate entity called the Foreign Influence and Interference Branch to generate more detailed intelligence about disinformation. In 2020, the disinformation focus expanded to include COVID-19, according to a Homeland Threat Assessment issued by Acting Secretary Chad Wolf. Chad Wolf! This apparently started during the Trump administration and continued into the Biden administration. So this is not even a left versus right thing. This is once again an us versus them thing. But it will no doubt once again be turned into a left versus right thing because the two-party system and its consequences have been a disaster for the American race. Sorry, it appears I have already popped off. In 2004, DHS officials faced pressure from the George W. Bush administration to heighten the national threat level for terrorism, in a bid to influence voters prior to the election. According to former DHS Secretary Tom Ridge, US officials have routinely lied about an array of issues, from the causes of its wars in Vietnam and Iraq, to their more recent around the role of National Institutes of Health in funding the Wuhan Institute of Virology's coronavirus research. Now, for those of you who don't know, the DHS was literally created in response to 9/11. So now, instead of going after Muslims, they're going after you for posting things that will be mainstream headlines in 6 months. Basically, this is their new war on terror, and baby, you're the terrorists. Remember a few months ago when they announced the Misinformation Governance Board, and they made some ex-theater kid liberal wine mom in charge of it, and she was cyberbullied so bad that they actually had to put the entire project on hold? Yeah, turns out we celebrated way too early, because apparently they didn't put it on hold. Jen Esterly, Biden's appointed director of CISA, swiftly made it clear that she would continue to shift resources in the agency to combat the spread of dangerous forms of information on social media. One could argue we're in the business of critical infrastructure, and the most critical infrastructure is our cognitive infrastructure. So building that resilience to misinformation and disinformation, I think, is incredibly important. Forget our crumbling infrastructure all across the country, collapsing bridges and highways and potholes everywhere. No, we need to focus on cognitive infrastructure. Your brain is infrastructure to these freaks. Do you hear that? I hate cars. Why are you driving a car? Where are you going at this hour? Are you coming home from work? Why aren't you at home yelling at your webcam? Cars. Where's my high-speed rail? In June, the same DHS Advisory Committee of CISA, which includes Twitter head of legal policy, trust and safety, Vijaya Gadde, God, I'm so white, and University of Washington professor Kate Starbird, drafted a report to the CISA director calling for an expansive role for the agency in shaping the information ecosystem. Facebook and Twitter accounts flagged by the DHS or its partners as dangerous forms of disinformation or potentially foreign influence were clearly parody accounts or accounts with virtually no followers or influence. So when this topic comes up, people always ask me like, well, shoot, misinformation is a very big problem. It's dangerous. Like, what should we do about it? And in a normal, sane world, nothing. To combat misinformation, you would fill the internet with correct information, I suppose. You could probably start by not banishing people to little corners of the internet in echo chambers where they're just surrounded by people who agree with them, where they just all have their potentially wrong facts validated to each other. Hell, I don't even mind those little fact check blurbs that like Twitter has that will show up on people's posts, as long as people aren't being banned or censored. But I have two issues with the fact checking thing. One, it honestly just ruins jokes. Like a few months ago, I made a joke about the Choco Taco being discontinued by the woke mob, and I shit you not, my meme was removed by Twitter. Then I got fact checked online by multiple fact checking websites. We used to be able to goof around on the internet. It was a beautiful place. Now you get Reuters and AFP fact check on your ass for doing a little trolling. But my biggest issue with it is the one I've been saying for years in multiple videos. Who is deciding what and what isn't misinformation? Google? Facebook? Twitter? You want Elon Musk deciding what is misinformation? The government? The American government? You want the American government to decide what is true and what isn't for you? You want them to wipe your ass too? You little baby? Little here comes the airplane looking motherfucker? Like, yeah, the government and billionaire run corporations have never been wrong. What? Are you listening to yourself? Under President Joe Biden, the shifting focus on disinformation has continued. In January 2021, CISA replaced the Countering Foreign Influence Task Force with the Misinformation, Disinformation, and Malinformation team, which was created to promote more flexibility to focus on general MDM. By now, the scope of the effort had expanded beyond disinformation produced by foreign governments to include domestic versions. The MDM team, according to one CISA official, counters all types of disinformation. Now, some people will see this video and they'll be like, "Shoo, are you really defending people who post misinformation and hate speech and are toxic online?" Yes! Because that's what free speech is. Like Noam Chomsky said, if we don't believe in freedom of expression for people we despise, we don't believe in it at all. You know what's funny? Years ago, during like my peak anti-SJW phase, it wasn't really a phase, like I still am, like, I hate when people say that. I still think SJWs are very annoying. They're very annoying people, but they're not like the most important issue, but anyway, going on a tangent. During my peak like anti-SJW days, I didn't really fully believe in free speech. And as I grew older and moved more left-wing, I also became more pro-free speech. And something I used to say a lot in order to get other liberals and leftists on my side was, what if it happens to you one day? What if they come for you and your opinions one day? And honestly, now, I don't think they have anything to worry about. These people are so cucked now. They don't question anything. I'm blackpilled. I refuse to believe that the people who are defending like the DHS is the same movement as Occupy Wall Street. I'm sorry, these aren't the same. These aren't the same people. I don't know what happened. They're not the same. But I am so happy that two leftists, Ken Klippenstein and Lee Fang, broke this story. I am so happy that this story was broked on a left-wing website. Thank you, Intercept. God bless you, because I don't feel like I'm going insane. For once, this shit can't easily just be brushed off as far-right conspiracy or QAnon shit. Because I don't know. I just think we should probably care that the DHS is using private corporations to censor people. You know, this DHS. But again, they don't really worry about it coming to them. They can't see past this week. It's convenient that it's censoring their enemies. It's convenient it's censoring, you know, anti-vaxxers or whatever the fuck. So yeah, a lot of people are ignoring this, brushing it off. They don't think it's a big deal, or they're even for it. And you know what? Good for them. It must be great. Always conveniently having the good approved opinions. Let's hope that doesn't change. So that was my little rant. I was not waiting for Hell World to put that out there. If you like this video, please subscribe and also consider donating to my Patreon. And if you can't donate to my Patreon, feel free to leave a little tip down there. There's a little tip button now. I didn't know that. Like, all my videos get demonetized. I could have easily been like some makeup guru, but no. I choose instead to cover topics like this. But that's enough about me and what I think. What do you guys think? How do you feel about this? And how would you combat misinformation online? I will see you soon in the next scripted video, so bye! Gaga baby, my special little